And we're joined now by SABC News reporter Mahlako Komane to talk about this. So, Mahlako, I mean, as we mentioned, much anticipated release of the report. Do we know why the delay?
Well, when we spoke to the family, when we spoke to the department, having said that, I think it was today that they met with the family. Earlier on in the week, when there was another story, that tragic story that happened in Olifantsfontein where the 3 kids passed away, the MEC did say that he would first meet with the family, and he had hoped to meet with the family on that particular day. I think it was the Monday or the Tuesday, and he was then unable to do this because of the incident that happened on that particular day, but there was a facilitation process. I understand that it was today that he then sat down with the family and they raised certain factors that I think they weren't happy about, but I think also the department also feeling that they really want them to also be part of the process. After all, this is their child, this is also their loss before it's anybody else's loss. It's the Mpianzi family that should also be satisfied with the processes that should go. But also you'll remember that as we covered the story, the family saying, you know, they were grieved, saying that they felt they weren't kept up to date. Certain things were just done. They didn't know what was happening. There were a lot of unanswered questions for them. So I think maybe in an effort to ensure that going forward they are synchronized, the department is synchronized with the family and they don't feel that they've left them out. It's quite important, I think, for them to try and include the family. But also a few weeks ago as well, if you remember that the MEC met with parents from Parktown Boys, also feeling that they don't want to hear such things from the media. Let them, these type of things should be released to them first. Remember, it was that preliminary investigation report that led to the suspension of the principal, Mr. Mahlako Komane, that was suspended at Parktown Boys. It was first announced, I think, to the media earlier on. There was a media briefing, and then later on there was that meeting that eventually a decision was taken that the media wouldn't be part of that particular meeting between the MEC and other education department officials, as well as parents from Parktown Boys.
So obviously this has been this has drawn a lot of interest from many sectors. I'm curious, when the family says they felt left out, is it because of those different measures that were taken by different parties to help bring about justice? Is this what made them feel shut out of the process?
Well, I think if you remember, the Human Rights Commission was with the family from the beginning. But I think also because I think this was an outcry that was had, that the school was very, they weren't forthcoming with information as to what happened. And I suppose by that this extends obviously to the department. They would feel that they are under one umbrella.
So most importantly, Mahlako, this was supposed to reveal damning, you know, elements of what exactly happened, who is culpable. Have we seen the report? Do we have an inkling? Because we know, obviously mentioned earlier on, the principal is suspended, the educators themselves, what responsibility do they carry? What do we know of it?
We haven't seen the report. The MEC and his officials are keeping it very close to their chest, so we haven't had an opportunity to go through it. It was tonight we're expecting to hear these shocking details that the MEC had said earlier on in the week that were contained in this report. He also went on further to say that it was from then on they would act. We take from that there would be other suspensions that would happen. If you'd remember, he also said in one of the briefings, the many briefings that happened around the story, was that they were checking out which teachers were paid by the SGB and which teachers were paid by the department itself, because I suppose the processes that would need to be followed in terms of suspensions and so forth would be dictated by that process, depending who's paying who. So we are really expecting some sort of you know, I think maybe shocking. He says shocking. So we really, I think everybody's curious to find out what happened. You'd also consider just how this happened. This wasn't reported in time. There are many unanswered questions, those pieces of the puzzles that we hope the report can help us put together.
Mahlako, let's leave it there. Thank you very much. SABC News reporter Mahlako Komane, who's on that story.